Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're diving into a story of incredible courage from the American Revolution, a story that often gets overshadowed by another famous midnight ride. We all know the legend of Paul Revere, but have you ever heard of Sybil Ludington? Get ready because the tale of this teenage hero is one you won't forget. Picture this. It's April 26, 1777. The British are on the move. 2,000 redcoats have landed on the coast of Connecticut, marching inland, burning and looting as they go. Their target? The Continental Army's main supply depot in Danbury. If Danbury falls, it's a devastating blow to the American cause. The local militias need to be rallied and fast. Now let's travel a bit north to what is now Putnam County, New York. Here lives the Ludington family. The father, Colonel Henry Ludington, is the commander of the 7th Regiment of the Dutchess County Militia. He's a respected figure, a veteran of the French and Indian War, and a staunch patriot. His men are scattered across the county, miles apart on their farms, completely unaware of the looming danger. That evening, an exhausted messenger arrives at the Ludington homestead. He's barely able to speak, but he gets the message out. Danbury is under attack. Colonel Ludington needs to muster his regiment immediately. But there's a huge problem. The messenger is too tired to go on, and all the men are at home. Who could possibly ride through the dark, treacherous countryside to alert the 400-man militia? This is where our hero steps onto the stage of history. Sybil Ludington, Colonel Ludington's eldest daughter, was just 16 years old. Seeing the urgency of the situation, and with no one else to send, she volunteers for the mission. Think about that for a second. A 16-year-old girl offering to ride alone at night through bandit-infested territory during a time of war. Her father, knowing the risks, but also trusting his daughter's skill as a horsewoman, agrees. He gives her a route, a path that will take her through the towns and farms where his men reside. Sybil saddles up her horse, a strong bay stallion named Star. With nothing but a stick to prod her horse and bang on doors, she sets off into the pitch-black night. Her ride wasn't a short, simple gallop. It was a grueling 40-mile journey, more than twice the distance of Paul Revere's famous ride. The night was dark and stormy with rain lashing down. The roads were little more than muddy, unlit tracks winding through dense forests. Every shadow could have been a British soldier or one of the lawless bandits known as Skinners, who roamed the area preying on travelers. But Sybil was undeterred. She rode with purpose and urgency. At each farmhouse, she would rear Star up, using her stick to pound on the door or a window shutter, shouting, "The British are burning Danbury! Muster at Ludington's!" She'd wait just long enough to see a light appear, a sign that her message was received, and then she'd be off again, disappearing back into the rainy darkness. Imagine the scene from the militia member's perspective. You're woken from a deep sleep by a frantic pounding on your door. You open it to see a young woman on horseback, drenched by the rain, her voice cutting through the storm with a desperate call to arms. It must have been an electrifying and unforgettable sight. She rode through Carmel onto Mahopac, then Kent Cliffs and Farmers Mills, tracing a massive loop around the county. She wasn't just a messenger. She was a one-woman alarm system, a beacon of defiance riding through the night. Her knowledge of the local terrain was crucial. She knew the shortcuts, the hidden paths, the lay of the land better than anyone. For hours she rode, her body aching, soaked to the bone, fighting off exhaustion. The physical and mental fortitude required for such a task is just staggering. This wasn't a main road with friendly taverns along the way. This was the wild, dangerous frontier of a nation at war. Every mile was a test of her courage and endurance. Finally, just as the first light of dawn began to break, a weary Sybil and her equally exhausted horse, Star, made it back home. She had done it. She had completed the entire 40-mile circuit, and her mission was a success. As she arrived, she could see the fruits of her labor. Militia members armed and ready were already beginning to gather at her father's farm. By morning, nearly the entire regiment, almost 400 men, had been mustered. Thanks to Sybil's incredible ride, they were able to march toward Danbury. Although they arrived too late to save the town itself, they, along with other American forces, engaged the British troops as they retreated. They harassed the Redcoats all the way back to their ships on the coast, inflicting significant casualties in what became known as the Battle of Ridgefield. Colonel Ludington's men played a vital role in that pursuit, and it was all made possible because his 16-year-old daughter dared to ride through the night when no one else could. She didn't just alert a few people, she single-handedly rallied an entire regiment that changed the course of that specific engagement. After the war, Sybil's story was passed down through her family and community. She married a man named Edmund Ogden, had a son, and lived a long life, passing away in 1839. For many years, her heroism was largely a local legend, a tale told in Putnam County, but not widely known elsewhere. So why isn't she as famous as Paul Revere? Well, there are a few reasons. Revere's ride was immortalized in a famous poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, which turned him into a national icon. Sybil never had such a poem. Also, history has often overlooked the contributions of women, but that doesn't make her actions any less significant. In fact, many would argue her ride was far more challenging and impressive. In 1975, the U.S. Postal Service even issued a stamp in her honor as part of its Contributors to the Cause series for the bicentennial. There are historical markers and statues dedicated to her along the route she rode, a permanent tribute to her bravery. General George Washington himself is said to have personally visited the Ludington home to thank Sybil for her service to the country. Sybil Ludington's ride is more than just a great story. It's a powerful reminder that heroes come in all forms, ages, and genders. It's a testament to the fact that one person, filled with courage and determination, can make a world of difference. She wasn't a soldier or a general. She was a teenage girl who saw what needed to be done and didn't hesitate. She is the epitome of quiet, unsung heroism. So the next time you hear the story of a midnight ride to warn of the British, remember that there were two. Remember the 16-year-old girl who rode twice as far, through a storm all alone, to rally the troops and defend her home. Remember Sybil Ludington. Thanks so much for watching and for letting me share this incredible story with you. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear more tales of forgotten heroes, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. I'll see you all in the next video.